Really, the Democrat Party is a party of cancel culture. That's a pillar of the Democrat Party. When you have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez accusing Senator Cruz of nearly murdering her, or comparing Congressman Chip Roy's actions to a sexual abuser, this is ridiculous, and someone at some time needs to hold them accountable.
Who is next? Who's next?
Well, it could be anyone, and Americans don't want to live in fear, Sean, because we have this thing called the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the First Amendment. But I said 3 weeks ago on the House floor during the impeachment debate, I said, I spoke to the Democrats. I said, don't think the cancel culture won't come after you too. Sean, it took all of 13 days for that statement to be proven true, because what happened last week in San Francisco, the school board said the Dianne Feinstein Elementary School will no longer be named after Senator Feinstein. So even a liberal icon in the state of California, who has represented that state in the United States Senate for decades, even she's not woke enough, and she gets canceled for something she said 37 years ago. That is how dangerous this is. And the Democrats are playing with fire. And we should not do this. And that's why the Judiciary Committee is going to stand up and talk about what the cancel culture mob is doing, how they're attacking our First Amendment liberties, and make sure that we push back on this and it stops happening, because it should not take place in this great country. It's not just about impeachment anymore. It's about canceling, as I've said, canceling the president and anyone that disagrees with them. The Ayatollah can tweet, the president can't. Democrats can object on January 6, 2017, but Republicans aren't allowed to object on January 6, 2021. Democrats say Antifa is a myth. Republicans condemn all violence all the time.
I'm glad that Jim and I are, here fighting to ensure that there is that opportunity to have people who disagree on substance without trying to totally cancel one another. I think it's also interesting that as they were objecting to the Pledge of Allegiance, the reasoning was rather tortured. Democrat Congresswoman Cori Bush said that the Pledge of Allegiance was a symbol of white supremacy, and that to accept a statement of the Pledge of Allegiance would just reinforce racism in our country. And I thought, gosh, at a time when there seems to be such a search for unity, we could do a lot better than this type of divisive rhetoric emerging from House Democrats.
The double standard has to stop. And frankly, the attack on the First Amendment has to stop. And stop and think about it. Do you have a functioning First Amendment when the cancel culture only allows one side to talk? When you can't even have a debate in this country, this great country, the greatest country ever? It needs to stop, because if it continues, it won't just be Republicans who get canceled. It won't just be the President of the United States. The cancel culture will come for us all.
Right. This is about trying to take out anyone ever connected to Donald Trump, because they don't want to have to spend that much money again to meet someone like him in 2024. That means take out anyone connected with him. They said it's a third of the Republican Party, or a third of the country still supports his ideas. It's about the ideas, Congresswoman. That's what they want to brand as racist or white supremacist, even though they were quite popular among various minority groups.
Laura, you are absolutely right. This is a movement that the Democrats can't seem to stop. They have spent millions of dollars trying to do that. And in all of this, they only expose their hypocrisy and show that they're never going to hold one another accountable. They're never going to stand on their own and be accountable for their own decisions. Really, the Democrat Party is a party of cancel culture. That's a pillar of the Democrat Party.
And Republicans have been consistent. We've condemned all the violence all the time. We condemned it last summer. We condemned it last week. We should be focused on bringing the nation together. Instead, Democrats are going to impeach the president for a second time 1 week before he leaves office. Why? Why? Politics and the fact that they want to cancel the president. The president who cut taxes, the president who reduced regulations, the president prior to COVID had the greatest economy, lowest unemployment in 50 years, the president who got us out of the Iran deal, put the embassy in Jerusalem, brought hostages home from North Korea, put 3 great justices on the Supreme Court, gave us a new NAFTA agreement, the Abraham Accords, the COVID vaccine, and who built the wall.